Hey everybody, welcome back to the Pressing Matters. I'm Scott. Thank you for tuning in today. Thank you for your support. Pardon my disheveled appearance because I just got back from a trip to Oz. And I don't mean down the yellow brick road. I mean the Wizard of Oz, Oswaldo Martinez at Let There Be Sound. And the reason I went over there today was to do a shootout of Elvis in Memphis, One Step versus the original Mobile Fidelity Sound Lab. We have sound clips that you'll be able to access so you can hear A/B comparisons as well. And I hope to have a video clip of his impressions as well to include in this video. Before I get started, if you're new and haven't already and you like what I do, please give me a thumbs up, hit like, subscribe, and notification, and you'll be sure to get notified of any new content that comes up. So I had this on order for 3 years. I think I ordered it in a batch of one steps during my one step craze. And I am a fan of certain one steps. I love Monk's Dream. I love the Eagles. I love Mingus, Hum. I love Fragile. But there are some that I don't love. And I've made that clear in several videos. I didn't like the Marvin Gaye, What's Going On. I didn't like the CSN. I didn't like... I was on the fence about Tapestry. I don't think it's one of their better ones, but I haven't written the company off. I have a 5-star review coming out for one of their regular releases. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but I have an open mind with Mobile Fidelity. The fact that they went through what they did with their scandal and all that doesn't affect me. I just want a good sounding record. So bear that in mind. I listened to this. This arrived a couple days back. I listened to it on my system. I didn't have any reference. Without any reference, I thought it sounded very good. The trouble was I didn't have anything to compare it to. So if I were to do a review, it would have only been for the music only. And I don't have that much experience with this album. So I decided to hold out and see if I could do a comparison review. And Oswaldo stepped up. He had an original pressing of this. So I thought it was an ideal situation to go over there and to listen to it on a much higher resolution system and do the comparison with him. His system, I'm going to list now, is very nice. It is a MySonic Lab Eminent EX cartridge on a VPI Avenger reference turntable with a VPI Fatboy 12 tone arm. It is going through a component that we both own, and that is the ModRite PH 9.0. He has the upgraded version with the tube power supply. This is going through a Heron Audio VTSP 360 ESP reference. That's a mouthful, but a beautiful, beautiful preamp. And through his new Prima Luna Evo 400 tube amplifier. And the speakers were System Audio 6 Legends. So very nice system. I think I have pictures of everything that I can show you. But yeah, so when I got there, we set everything up. We played his copy first, which is the original Mobile Fidelity from the original iteration of the company. I forget what year that was released, but this was during the JVC Super Vinyl Japan pressing era, all analog pressing. And the first thing I noticed versus what I heard on this one at home here was that it had a more pronounced and airy top end. And that, I said to myself, well, that's typical of MOFI from this period. A lot of times they are just a little raised on the ends. I'm not surprised. And I wasn't offended by it at all. I thought it sounded very, very nice, actually. Crisp, detailed, nicely separated, beautiful sound. In particular, there were a few things that really stood out to me. The clarity and the space and the air in the original pressing is very good. Elvis's vocals can be different throughout the record. Sometimes they're a little back there, and sometimes they're up front. On the ones that are clear and up front, on the original pressing, very clear, very focused and present and stable. You can really hear all the inflection and emotion in his voice clearly. Very nice. The background vocals, this is recorded in a studio that I imagine is quite cavernous because it sounds like it. The background vocals are often off in the right channel, and they are very clear, distinct, and present on the original pressing. Very nice, beautifully balanced, sounds great. Individual instruments like guitar and horns, snare drums, particularly in the ghetto, which is one of the cuts that we're going to let you have access to the A/B so you can hear for yourself. There'll be links below for that, and a link to his channel to watch the video of the two records playing A/B, A/B. So that'll be interesting for you to check out. The guitar is very clear and distinct on the original pressing. It's an acoustic guitar. You can hear the picking of the strings. You hear it. It sounds realistic and present and beautiful. The string sound from the orchestra is silky smooth and lovely. Just beautiful, beautiful string sound. Very airy and sound perfect to me. The snare drum, which appears on a few cuts, the hit on the snare drum and that sound of a snare drum is very clear and realistic as well. Beautiful. Overall, this pressing was just hard to criticize. It was very, very nice, and I was so impressed with it. I was like, okay, so that's interesting. Let's hear this new one. So we put on the new one, and I'm not going to speak for him because he's going to have a little video clip in this, or at least a statement after my statements. But I thought it sounded good. However, there was less air on the top end. The vocals on those cuts that I said Elvis's vocals are more up front and present, they were actually pushed forward, and I hate that. They were shouty, and we level matched everything very carefully. They were shouty, and on the original pressing they weren't like that at all. The background vocalists are hazy. They're not really as defined as they were. They're not as present as they were, and they're not as far away as they were. They're kind of pushed a little bit in. That snare drum, that guitar, again, less definition, less presence. I don't know. It didn't sound as good. The whole effect of the record is a little more homogenized. On its own, I can say it sounds nice. It's a nice sounding record, but in comparison, there is no comparison. I usually don't like anything that's super detailed, but this original pressing, it's detailed but just right, especially on his system. It sounded beautiful. On this one, there's a little bit of a loss of detail, and that homogenization just makes it a less compelling, less interesting listen. You can hear for yourself in the clips. I'm going to let Oz tell you what he thought, and then we'll get back to you on the other side.
Hello, my name is Oswaldo Martinez, president of Let There Be Sound in Western Florida. Today I had the distinct pleasure of hosting Scott Wilson from The Present Matters in my studio so we could compare two pressings, the original 1981 Mobile Fidelity Sound Lab versus the latest 2023 edition on the one-step Ultradisc. And I tell you that I had a distinct preference. My vote goes to the original. It simply sounded more organic. It had greater separations of instruments. It was a sweeter sound, especially in the strings in the background. The vocals were lusher, and there was a much wider soundstage on the original versus the MOFI one-step. So to me, big winner, the original. I hope you guys will listen to the files that we've captured and that Scott will share on his channel, and let us know what you think. Thank you.
Yeah, so both of us really were not wowed by the one-step. I think for this kind of money, it should top previous pressings. And in this case, on this system, it did not. Your results may vary. Of course, I want to hear from you in the comments if you have it. But, and we can't tell you, or I can't tell you that how they sound against original RCA pressings, or say the Speaker's Corner, which has been out for a couple of decades, I think. But in this comparison, there was no comparison. It was a good record, but not a great record. The original one is great. And that's how I felt about it. Also, I just wanted to discuss a little bit about the package itself. Box and inserts and all that were fine. The records, unfortunately, were not. The first one came with a dish warp, which on my system, I don't have a periphery ring, so it wasn't touching the platter on one side. That was solved at Oz's place with a periphery ring, so that wasn't an issue. But the second record had noise that could not be removed at the end of side 3 for about 30 seconds, and an off-center pressing on side 4, which contains the extra track Suspicious Minds as the last track. And by that point in the record's spinning fast, and this tone arm is making a little dance, and it's audible. It's a little seasick sound in the strings and so forth. So to mobile, not Mobile Fidelity, but to Music Direct's credit, they immediately addressed my concerns. I just requested replacements, and I explained the problem. They don't know me from anybody. They sent me two, they're sending me 2 replacement discs. So I hope to have a perfect set, and I will keep this set. But this was quite an eye-opening and ear-opening experience. So let me know what you think, if you've heard it, or if you have some of these other pressings that you've compared. Until next time, I'm Scott for the Pressing Matters. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.